I'm Katie,
I'm Josie.
and this is Something Spookish.
Whoa.
Did you like that?
I loved it. It
It
was
was a
so
little bit more oomph.
that was an oomph. It was good. It was a good
I'm not
oomph.
necessarily feeling oomph, but I thought maybe if I put it through my voice, then I would feel it, and it kind of worked.
Push it out. Yeah. You just gotta fake it till you make it. But that made it. That was great.
That made it. Thank
Mhm.
you. I did. I was like, "How's this going to come out?" And it did, and I'm happy with it. I'm good with it. Um, Josie, oh my goodness, October has been the most magical month of my whole life.
Yeah, I
Goodness
would have
me.
to agree. I'm like I really don't have words, but
So much
dang.
magic, so
Dang
many new
October.
people.
So many friends, so many experiences, so many spooky moments, but like in the best way.
Oh, the very best way. And I just wasn't expecting it. Like, I knew we were going to do a bunch of stuff for October because this is our first spooky season on the pod, but was not expecting the amount of just amazing, like, new friends and new places and just it's awesome. I think the first thing we wanted to do
Well, I think
was
going off of that, my dear,
mm,
the timing of everything is a little insane. And I don't think we've really gotten to talk about the timing of all of our October events, but I think that might like lead in to the fun thing that we just recently did.
that's right. It's all been
So
very serendipitous.
it's synergy. Meant to be.
Mm.
But we we went to stay at the Lumber Baron Inn because we did an episode on it a while back and it was amazing. But while we were there, we found out that the month before we stayed, they had filmed the Netflix show 28 Days Haunted. And then my dear, beautiful sister and I got invited to go watch the premiere at the house. And I was not able to go because I had to go do work things. But you kick butt and you went to the party all by yourself because you're
I went
amazing and you're a
I went
strong
all by
woman.
myself.
I'm
And like
so
that
proud.
alone made October pretty cool because never in a million years did I think I would go to an event all by myself. I am so introverted. But it was amazing. And so I think one of the most magical things that came out of all of this is if you haven't had a chance to listen to it, we actually got to sit down with Elaine, one of the owners of the Lumber Baron Inn, and we got to talk to her about her take on 28 Days Haunted.
And it was it's absolute. Because we haven't actually gotten to do it yet, but we know it's going to be magical.
Oh,
We
it's going
know
to be
it's going
so
to be
magical.
magical. So go listen to it. And man,
Yeah, this
that's
is a very
crazy.
strange time warp because we're recording this episode, which is going to come out after Elaine's episode, but we're going to record that episode in the future. I hope you're
So thanks for
sufficiently
going on the
confused.
journey. Yeah, be confused on the journey, but enjoy the journey. That's the
That's how
name of
I
the
feel.
game.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
don't fight it. Just go with it.
Just come along with us. We'll go
mm,
together. We'll get lost
yeah,
together. It'll be great.
I love it.
But yes, so if you're listening to this episode now, that means that we have published the episode with Elaine, and I have no doubt that it's just the most incredible conversation. So please go back and listen to it if you haven't. But make sure you see 28 Days Haunted first, because that'll really give you the context that you're going to need to really get into what we talk about, because a lot goes on in that series, and it'll tie everything together. And then
I
I
think
think the
the
only other thing that I
mm,
wanted to bring up was that we are starting to get to talk to some really great people through our social media accounts. And I just wanted to say thank you to everyone.
it
We
warms our
so
hearts.
appreciate it.
Oh, oh my
Oh,
goodness. Hi. I love
hi.
you. Thank
We love
you.
you. Our hearts,
Lordy.
our souls.
My heart.
And I can't tell you, I think we really
I
needed
so
it
appreciate
because we've
it.
been, oh my gosh.
Oh my god, girl. Because this is not it is we're not doing we're doing this for funsies.
For
Number
funsies,
one.
but it's more work than I could have ever imagined.
Holy crap.
Oh
Like,
my god.
we both have full-time jobs, by the way, and also
Yeah.
like other side gigs and what the
Relationships and
hell? Oh, right. Yeah. Oh my
there's
God.
that, yes.
Thanks. Thank you, Jeffrey. Love you. I love you with all my heart. Appreciate it. Because I spend a lot of time doing this, but this
Mhm.
is like the thing that brings, I think, both you and I so much passion, and I think we've gotten to connect with people in such a way that we never thought we would. And holy cow, just thank you, thank you, thank you.
Seriously, you guys are amazing. I can't tell you like how much like joy I carried in my heart all day, being like, "Oh my gosh, got to talk to this person and that person," and to hear about people, starting to think about writing stories in for us. We actually have a
Mm,
couple,
please
and
send.
oh, I'm so excited. So, if you haven't heard your story on the podcast yet, know that we are saving it so that we can get just a couple more, which I am so excited for, Josie.
Yeah,
Mhm.
bring it to me.
Mm.
Like I'm impatient, but I can. Oh, I'm ready.
I know, I know. Those are the best. So we're really excited, and good things are coming. And just thank you to everyone who's been so supportive. So, without further ado, Josephine, I would love to tell you, because we're still close enough to spooky season that I just can't quite get it out of my head yet. I have for you the Fear Factory, Josie. And dear listeners, have you heard of the Fear Factory?
I have not, and I have no idea what it could entail, but I'm
Oh,
excited. I have to assume it's full of fear.
it is a factory full of fear, Josie.
Shit.
Indeed, yes, you
Oh
guessed
man,
correctly.
not the factory that I want to be a part of.
A factory of fear. But you might, because essentially it's a haunted attraction, is what it is, Josie.
Is it like Fear Factor?
Uh, no, but I can see where they may have gotten a bit of play
Mm,
on words there.
mm-hmm.
No, it's just a haunted Halloween attraction that is actually really haunted.
No way.
Yeah, yeah.
Really?
Oh, yes, very, very, very haunted. And so I'm going to tell you a little bit about the history, and then I'm going to tell you about some of the interviews with employees
Okay.
and their experiences there. So,
Sweet.
all right. So, the Fear Factory. And if this just isn't the cherry on top, it's located at 666, I'm not even kidding, 666 West 800 Street, and it's in Salt Lake City, Utah.
Utah. Okay.
Mm,
Yeah, that's. Do you think they planned that, or do you think that's just
I think that was
a
part
co-
of the lure. I think
Yeah.
that was a big part of why they decided to purchase the property for a haunted location in the first place, or like
Oh,
a
they were like,
Halloween
this one
attraction.
is freaking perfect. It's
Oh,
got the
yeah. Oh, my
number,
gosh.
everything.
But for what it was before it was a Halloween attraction, I would be like, ooh, this isn't a good sign.
All right, hold on. I can tell. I can tell this is going to be good. So I'm going to get really comfortable. I need a blanket.
You do. You do. Let me just tell you, Josie, you do.
I know I do. I'm like half. I'm at half capacity of comfort right now.
That's a really low level of comfort, Josie. I'm going to need you to fix that.
Get red.
All right. Josie, are you comfortable? Has your comfort threshold increased?
Yeah, much better. Thank you. I'm ready.
All right, good, good, good. Okay, so this place is huge. It's made up of 6 buildings, some of which are up to 6 stories high.
Whoa.
So
Whoa.
we're going
Okay, now.
high in the sky.
Now wait, that's a lot of sixes again. That's now this
Oh
is too
god.
much. Did you
You're
not
right.
realize? Oh my god.
Oh my god,
Whoa.
no. Oh my god, it's so evil. Ew.
Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Did your my headphone just squeaked? Did you hear?
No.
Hey, I can't do this fucking anymore.
You have
There's
to
no
stop with
way.
your closet.
I need to stop doing the pod in my closet. Okay. Okay, please keep
Listen,
going. But
it's
that is interesting because that is a lot, and for it being the address and then to throw the dimensions in. Whoa. Just
Ooh,
to point that out. There you go.
ooh, thank you for pointing that out because it skipped right by my brain. And now I'm wondering where the third six is. It might just be like the address itself. Okay, so we've got 6 buildings, some of which are 6 stories high. We're gonna find that third six, whether I want to or not, probably. But so you go way, way up, but then you also go down, Josie. There are also 2 underground tunnel passageways. Ew, spooky.
Yeah.
What this was originally, what it was first built for, it was the Portland Cement Company.
Cement
Yes.
company.
Yeah.
Okay. That doesn't seem too harmful.
It doesn't. It's actually incredibly harmful, believe it or not.
Oh,
Horrifyingly
lordy.
so. Oh,
Let me
yeah.
tell you, I don't know, nor would I.
It's a good thing you don't. It's a good thing you don't, Josie. It was built in the 1800s. And apparently, the production and manufacturing of cement is extremely dangerous. There is equipment that includes and like just gigantic pieces of equipment and machinery. There's boiling liquid. There are giant grinding gears, Josie. And I don't know what this has to do with cement, but apparently it has everything to do with cement.
Okay,
Yeah.
yeah, I can see how all of that would be dangerous.
Yeah. Very, very dangerous. As an HR professional, that sounds like an ocean nightmare. Yeah.
It's,
Yeah. And hopefully the word OSHA scared you
it scared
away
me. I was
anyway.
like, no, I don't want to do any
Whatever
part of
that
that.
is. Ew.
No, thank you.
So, in nearly 100 years of its operation, the cement company had paranormal activity, it had unexplained sightings, and it had a ton of unfortunate accidents that plagued the whole factory. And that led a lot of people to believe that the property was cursed. You don't say. You couldn't change the address, you had to make it 666. You couldn't make it, 6667 or 66, 53 or just something else. You could have made it something else. I betcha it could have been done.
It's not what they were going for.
Apparently not. They really wanted it to
No.
be cursed, I guess. And as you can imagine, if a worker made a mistake, they could be severely harmed or they could be killed.
I don't even want to think about the accidents that could have happened. Mm.
Would you like me to tell you about one of the worst ones? That's what I
I know
heard. I heard
yeah,
tell me
I
about
know
the worst one.
I said I didn't, but would you please tell me? Would you please tell me with everything that you have right now? And please tell me what happened.
With everything that I have, oh my goodness, that is
This
a
is gonna be
call to
like
action.
Saw. I'm
All
scared.
right. All right. It is going to be, yeah, a lot like
I
Saw.
can
It's going to be
handle
bad.
ghosts, but
Here's a nightmare for
ugh,
you. All right.
okay.
Okay. So the
You're so
first doc,
excited.
it's really bad. So, oh my God. The first documented death, his name was George Howe, and he was an employee. And George was responsible for the maintenance of the coal crusher.
Oh no. Why
It's
would you
already
name it
bad.
that? It's bad.
It crushes coal, Josie.
Does it now? Just say more.
Say more. One evening, George was alone in the factory. Again, I already don't condone this. He
Why
was
are you alone in the
oiling.
factory?
Why is he alone in the factory?
What
Working
year
on
is
probably,
this?
it's in the 1800s.
Okay. Well, yeah. Okay. No, that makes sense. All right.
Yeah.
Continue.
I should have the year. I don't have the year. I
That's
have the
fine.
century, the
Hmm.
1800s.
Good
Yes.
enough.
But yeah, no, he's alone. He's not. He, you should have someone watching your back with the coal crusher. Like, for the love of God, it's called the coal crusher. All right, so he's oiling the crusher before shutting it down at the end of the night. He's probably been there for who knows how many hours, and he's probably just trying to get this one last thing done. He's reaching across to apply oil deep within the crusher,
Mm.
and the machine grabs his sleeve, and the sleeve gets
Mm.
stuck, and it begins to slowly pull him into the gears.
Uh.
George's arm was first
Oh.
removed from the socket,
Oh.
then snapped and
Uh.
ripped from his body. and unable to free himself, he was slowly and consciously pulled into the crusher.
Oh my goodness. I feel everything in my body like being full. That
It's really
poor
bad.
man. That's slow. That's you experience. Oh, oh my God.
Yeah, if we can just give a moment for George to appreciate what he endured. But I would also quickly like to run away from that moment because I feel a little bit too.
Wait, why was it on? Why
I
was
think
he
that
oiling?
he's oiling it before shutting it down for the night, so it's been on all day.
Oh my
Yeah, he
God.
should have. I don't know. I don't know. There's a lot of things that we could have done better, but it's the 1800s and we're behind at this point.
Yeah, I just bless his soul. Lordy. Okay.
I know, poor George. His entire body was eventually twisted into the gears before being spit out as basically just a mutilated collection of bloody flesh. Horrifying. Horrifying. So, this was the first documented death. Really, really, really bad. And I would say
Oh, that's tragic.
sufficiently cursed. Just right
I
there.
mean, that doesn't bode well for the lingering energy.
No, that's not a good start. It's not a good start that
Ooh.
that was your first death. Like,
Mm-mm.
oh, God, I don't know. This is why we have human resources now. So that shit's in place.
God. And
So
this is like one
that,
of those things where I'm like, God, please let that be residual, just residual energy stuck there. And dear Lord, please, goodness, oh my goodness, please have this person's
George has
soul
moved on.
actually be okay. Yeah, like please.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Yeah. And unfortunately, his was not the only death. Other deaths included falling. Oh, God, none of these are good. They're all so bad.
I would
They
love to
include
hear.
falling into boiling vats. Boiling
Uh,
vats of what? Probably molten fucking
Cement.
metal.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Other people got grinded up.
Oh,
George wasn't the only one.
oh my gosh. This is probably not. This probably happens at so many factories that are hardcore and intense, and I don't even want to. Ooh,
Back in the day.
ooh, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Fucking horrifying. People would suffer injuries, there'd be dismemberment, you would get crushed, you like just anything to do with these gigantic pieces of equipment and machinery, you're at massive risk of injury or death. There were other deaths, there were some suicides. As far as documented deaths, there were a total of 11 before Portland Cement Works eventually closed down officially.
Okay.
I'm sure there were more than that.
Suicides.
Yeah, well, and the suicides, I think might have gotten looped into. I'll tell you a little bit more about the history, but it was empty for decades. It was just an empty factory for decades. It fell into disrepair, obviously, and I think there were a few times where people had tried to buy the property and start it back up as a factory for other business ventures, but it never lasted long. They always ended up closing again.
Hmm. It's a
So,
curse.
sounds like a curse, but between the periods of operation, the property became home to, you know, transients, wanderers, homeless, all that group. I think a lot of the suicides came from that time.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. So really sad and a really scary place to be, really. Until, well, no, not until. I mean, including, I guess,
Oh, in
2010.
addition to.
Also, and in addition to 2010, when the owners of the Fear Factory acquired the property and then officially opened their doors in 2011.
Mm. Okay, now here
And
we are.
here we are. And good eye on them. A, look at this address. How terrifying.
So spooky.
So spooky.
Look at these
There,
dimensions. So spooky.
so much space for fear to ensue. Fear across, fear above, and fear below.
Everywhere
Perfect.
if you want can have fear, you can have fear.
Yes. Oh, how many people died on this property? Fantastic. How did they die? Horribly, you say? Amazing.
Yeah,
What a great place for a haunted attraction because this bitch is probably actually haunted. And they were right.
Let us stir up shit.
Ah,
Sounds like
ah.
that's what. Oh, am I on?
No,
Am I on
yeah.
the? I'm on
No,
the
no,
right
you have
path.
the right idea. You are right
Oh,
on par.
fantastic. Yeah, I thought.
No.
I
They
thought
were
I
like,
knew.
we're gonna make this a real wholesome place and really downplay the scary bits. No, 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 no. They amped up all of it, you know, and that's part of their lure is they really push out the history of the place and what happened there because it is haunted. These are the reasons why, and if you're gonna get scared by actors, you might get scared by other stuff too. So, but
Plus, it's like a feeding ground. There, it's like a fun fear, but I think fear is fear.
yeah, fear is fear, and yeah, it's so weird because it is fun, but then it's also like very quickly not fun. And what a wonderful like buffet to be at if you're like some kind of creepy, horrible entity. Yummy, delicious.
Nom 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 nom. Yeah. All
Yeah.
right. Well, that's enough of that.
Nom, 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 nom. But now it's world famous. It's on tons of TV shows, and they get visitors from all over. And it is one of these magical places where you have to sign a fucking waiver to be able to go
Love
in.
me a waiver. Yes.
God.
Who has ever said that? Nobody.
Who would love
But
me a waiver?
if it's that spooky, will they make you sign a waiver? They will. And I don't know. That's a hard one because most of the time with waivers when it's like I like gym waivers like no, you have the potential that you could die, but every waiver says that because it's not their fucking fault if you're stupid and you
Does
don't know
it
how
say
to
you
see
could
something.
die? I thought gym waivers just said, you could
It's like
hurt
not our
yourself
fault. Yeah, you could hurt yourself. I think there's a few out there. I think
or you
I don't
could
know.
die. I guess you could if
Yeah.
you were really, really unlucky
But
with the
with all
equipment,
of
I
that,
guess.
you're like, whatever, sure, it's
Sure.
normal. I get that. But we're talking. If I go to Zach Baggins Museum or any of these places, I don't
Waiver.
know what I'm bringing in. What am I?
What? Just
I
your
don't want to be
cheerful self.
haunted. No, I don't want to get something attached to me. They're
Yeah,
like,
but
fuck
you're
it.
bringing in just yourself, and then you're bringing out though maybe a few more things with you. Yeah.
I don't want to have a heart attack and die. I don't
But
want to have
listen,
any
you
of those
signed the
weird
waiver. Fuck
things.
you.
Exactly. So I'm going to sign the waiver. All right. You're right. I don't care. I am going to
Just
sign
sign
it.
the waiver. Just don't even read it. Just sign it, Josie. Don't even
Like
read
I
it.
do with everything else. That's right. That's right.
Yeah, no,
Okay.
please don't listen to
Thank
me,
you.
by the way. Always read your waivers. Always read your waivers. But it does bode well for how very spooky this place is. And how, yeah, well, because I think too, if a haunted house has actors that can make like physical contact with you, like
Ooh.
that already has a waiver. And that's
All
like
right.
10 times scarier.
Oh, way more.
I hate
Don't
that shit.
touch me.
Don't touch me.
Don't
I like
touch
the
me.
I don't even like any haunted houses. I feel like I could go to them now. Like I feel like maybe I'm a little braver than I was before. But yeah, I don't know. I don't know. This is not as much of. I don't know how much I want to immerse myself in because like they beat you down with the fear, and and it's area after area after area with the Fear Factory. There are all these different silos. There's like a doll silo and the hell
Of
silo, and
course.
like all these different fucked up areas that you go through. So yeah, it's a lot. There's over 100 actors. Over 100.
Wow.
Oh, and then there's at least a few non-living entities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Just to
So,
tie in a good mix of scary things. Yep.
yeah. And you don't know what you're going to get. So now I have for you a slew of interviews with employees and one of the owners.
Okay. Mm-hmm. Ready.
And you want to know why I'm a little bit upset?
Oh, do
I'm a little
tell.
bit upset, Josie,
Okay. Well,
because I started my research journey on the Fear Factory because I had seen that there were other paranormal teams who had investigated it besides Ghost Adventures.
oh, no, they didn't.
And so, you know
Sorry.
what?
Wait.
I start pursuing one of the other paranormal teams to get my interviews and my stories, and it was Ghost. I think it was Ghost Nation, and I was
Okay.
excited to look into a different paranormal team, and I'm an idiot because just because something is titled Fear Factory, Josie, does not mean it is this Fear
Oh,
Factory.
oh, you watched the wrong thing, didn't you? Bummer.
It was a factory of fear, all right, but it was in like New England. It was like in Connecticut. It was
Oh,
not this
so
Fear Factory.
but there's multiple fear factories.
Well, no, it was just a factory, and they just titled
Oh,
it Fear Factory to be spooky.
because it was spooky.
Yeah.
Well, thank you for
So
taking one for the team.
I tried, but see, Josie, my interviews are now from Ghost Adventures, and I'm like, gosh darn it, can't use
Ghost
Ghost
Adventure.
Adventures for everything.
Listen, Zach,
Damn
get
it,
out
Zach!
of here.
Get out!
Jesus.
What are you doing here, Zach? Get
Someone
out of my
else,
episode.
please investigate more than Zach. Where's Ryan from Paranormal State? Actually, I do.
I'm so sorry.
If anybody knows what we're talking about, I'm gonna I'll be super surprised. But
Oh, Paranormal State.
mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm. Amazing.
Give me
Well, again,
Ryan. Give me a little bit of
you and I
Ryan.
have a few years in between us, and we both know what Paranormal State is because it was so good.
So good.
So
All right,
good.
but let's go back to our trusty steed, Zach Baggins.
Oh my gosh, I'm sorry.
I love Zach Baggins. I do.
I do
I
too.
also I love you're a great human. He's a great guy. You're great. You're awesome. But I also love to just I
We
love to
appreciate it.
yeah, I
you let
love
us
to
rant.
make fun of you too at
But
the same time.
I needed a different paranormal group to cite. And
Just kind of switch
gosh
it up.
darn it. I got I got inadvertently dragged back in because I was like, I'm not abandoning this topic, damn it.
No, my and you know what? It's some decent possible findings. So
No, they
let's
do
hear it.
good. They do
Yeah.
good. Yeah. All right. So here's what we got. All right. We have one employee, Jessica. She was an actor at the factory, at least at the time of the interview. She explained her most frightening encounter in an area called the Hell Silo. She was in there, yeah, it's creepy. I would argue, from what I heard, the most frightening of all the silos, of all the areas in the entire Fear Factory. You got tunnels, you got stores, you got elevators, and then there's the Hell Silo. And so her and some other employees were like hanging out in there, and I think it was after, either they weren't open at the time. And she said that they were using a spirit box and asking questions, and something menacing kept coming through and kept cussing at them and repeating that it was a demon over and over and over. And she was like, and it said other things that I don't really want to repeat. I'm
Yeah.
like, ooh,
I'm
that's
sure.
not good.
That's not
And she
good.
said, as this was coming through the spirit box, they watched shadows like running across the ceiling.
Ooh. Ooh,
I'm like,
Hell's
what?
Silo.
Oh, what the fuck is that? Shadows across the ceiling.
Just
Terrifying.
continuous.
Right? I'd be like, what the fuck is going on? Like, what is that?
I hate the things that come out of spirit boxes. Like the thing that no.
Ugh. Oh no, I'm definitely
Ugh.
gonna see if we can use that one more because it's so creepy.
I'll turn it on right now. I hate my
Oh my god,
closet.
will you?
Do you,
Would you please? It's like my
I
new
feel like
favorite thing.
to see what's in my closet.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I'm my heart rate. I'm gonna turn this stupid spirit box on. Caitlin, I hate you. All
I love you.
right, you can just keep going. We'll see if anything
Oh my god, I don't like that. All
pops
right.
up.
It's on and it hasn't said anything. Hmm.
Emmy. Ah!
Oh my god, what did it say?
Emmy?
Emmy?
Caitlin, why am I doing this?
Because you're.
No,
Ooh.
no, fuck me. Boy, no, 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 no. I fucking hate it.
Okay. 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 Thank you
That's
for.
that was much deeper than the other one I heard. This was like a more natural one than the other one that I heard, but like fuck that. And I don't even think that this is not a legit. This is not a legit ghost box. But whatever they did to like make that, it scares the shit out of me.
Well, I just think it is interesting that it like took it a second because I thought like usually when we've turned it on, it like kind of
It's been
spits
like,
something out right away.
oh, we still have
Yeah.
to do an episode about people's reviews on that. Yeah, no, fuck that.
Oh
No,
my god,
I'm
we have
done.
to. Oh my god, we have to. That's right.
Okay,
Don't
thanks for
forget.
like, yeah, so yeah, there's maybe something in my closet. Great. Anyway,
No, no, there's stuff everywhere. You can't turn the app on and have it not say anything.
it's gonna say
Listen,
something all the time.
it is. It
It
is.
wants
You're
to
it
talk.
wants to say hi, Jizzy. Yeah. So listen,
Yeah,
you're fine. Thank you for
just hate the way it
indulging me.
sounds. You're welcome.
I theoretically could get the app right now myself and play it for you, but I shan't.
It's not worth it.
Okay, cool. maybe maybe when we're together I'll feel braver, but we'll see. All right. So that was the really creepy spirit box experiment that these employees were doing where they saw the shadows. All right, so now they spoke to the owner, Rob, and Rob explained that they had an employee who found a satanic book in the hell silo. And you're
Okay,
thinking to yourself, it's probably a prop, right? Spooky prop.
that's
Nay,
yeah, that's what I was thinking. No,
nay. No, it didn't belong there. It was not a prop. It was real. And Rob verified this is definitely not a part of the attraction. And
it just
then
found its way there.
it just magically found its way there, Josie.
Okay,
And not only that, it magically got discovered, by golly,
by who?
by an employee who's just like, what's this doing here? I've never seen this before. How
Hmm,
mysterious. I had no idea.
it's very suspicious.
Isn't it, though?
That's
Isn't
sus.
it, though?
Yeah.
It's a little sus. So Zach goes and speaks to this employee, and this employee's name is Chris. So he had found said book in said hell silo. And wouldn't you know it, Chris has a character. He's an actor in the hell silo. Can you guess what character he plays in the hell silo?
The devil?
Indeed!
Wow. 10 points.
10 points. 10 fucking
Okay.
points, Josie.
Well, Mr. Devil actor dude, Chris,
Chris.
do you have something to say?
He claims his innocence, Josie.
Oh,
He says he promises. And not only that, he whipped it on out of his pocket and handed it to Zach on the spot. Here, take a gander.
wow, confident.
Have a look-see, Lou, here at my satanic book that I definitely
So
didn't find or put.
confident.
Yeah, I definitely didn't like put it there. I had no idea it was there. He said he found it in it was by this prop vase that was covered in all these dead prop flowers and it was all dusty. And it's like, well, why were you looking over there? And how did you even find it? And why would you look over there, see a book positioned like so, and be like, oh, what's this? I'm sure this isn't part of
Hmm,
the attraction. Yeah.
interesting.
No, no, no.
Because it's all a part of the attraction. And you were like,
Right. Why
Chris.
would you assume that it wasn't? You're saying your eyes are keen enough to be like, what is this buried under all this stuff that I just happen to know where it is?
All right, this doesn't bode well. So,
It doesn't bode well. And that's what Zach said. And he was like, so you're the one who found the book. Yes. And do you play the role of Satan in the Hell Silo? And Chris was like, yes. And Zach was like, no further questions, Your Honor.
oh, whoa.
So I'm like,
Drop the
okay,
mic.
thank you.
Done. Thank you.
Yes. Can we
Good
all
job,
be a little
Zach.
bit suspicious, please? He swears, but I don't believe him for one tiny second. Not 1 second. And so he found the book, right? And I think at first he didn't mention it to anyone. Oh, I think he started asking a few people around. He was like, "Hey, is this yours? Hey, is this yours? Hey, do you know what this is?" And for the most part, people were like, "I don't know." So he thought it would be cool to start using the book in his performances
Oh,
whilst acting as
genius.
Satan in the Hell Silo.
That is the smartest thing I've ever heard. Cuz
Isn't it though?
you need that extra like good luck charm on stage with you. if you're really gonna nail a performance, I know I went to
You should
theater
know.
school.
Josie, you are an actor and you understand the need for a spicy performance.
Man, do I. And to add that spice, sometimes what I do, my little secret,
Mm.
is bring a satanic Bible on the
Ah,
stage with me. Did
ahaha.
you?
So this is a well-known tool, I see.
Yes, this is a trade secret. No, dear God. No, I understand wanting to have like a little extra pop of like a good luck charm on stage, but you don't. You didn't. No, no, my sir, because you don't need to be that in character. Because you know that
Josie,
it's haunted. You know that it's a haunted place.
this is true. You got hired, you know the history, you know that there's paranormal activity already. You are playing Satan. Josie, just, you know, sometimes you got to sprinkle a little Satan on your performance.
Maybe that's
Just
why I never made it.
just sprinkle a bit of Satan on your performance, Josie. That is why. That is why.
I
Now
had
you know.
too much light, love, and blissful la di da joy and said I should have been doing the opposite.
It's all
And
right,
that's
Josie.
why I
It's all
didn't
right.
finish theater school.
You didn't know. You did, but now you do. You know, so you can use it going forward. But Chris really took it all the way. He really did. He found the passages in the book that, let's see, that he said sounded particularly brutal and cool.
Mm. Oh my dude, cool. Get get out of town. Get
Get
out of
out of
town.
town. Get out of town, Josie. Um, okay, and then finally, what I shall share with you, he took these brutal and cool snippets out of the Satanic Book, and he would announce them over the intercom to scare
Ah,
visitors going through the attraction.
what? Dude.
Yes, I shit you not.
Dude, that is
Oops,
like out of control. That is
oopsie.
reckless. Are you kidding me?
I wish I
That's
was.
like, what kind of hell are you truly trying to unleash? Eh, I'm, I'm
Oops,
done. Oop,
oops.
oops,
Yeah, no,
oops.
this is what we would like to call a mistake. And perhaps even an educated mistake. Like, not really a mistake, maybe a little bit on purpose, is what I'm saying.
Oh my God.
A little bit, a little bit of an on purpose sort of mistake.
Oh yeah, you think he was just being, a dick?
And, you know, I think that he, you know, and like that's fine. You can be into. All right, so
You
here's
can
where I'm
be
confused
into,
about the satanic
you can
stuff.
absolutely, but like, if it's gonna come at a place of harming other people, then no. And this is,
You're now harming other people, is
I
what I
think
think is happening,
yeah, yeah.
and yourself, and yourself. He said that he started getting, what was it? He started, so after he started doing this, weird things started ramping up in the Hell Silo, including to him, and he started getting the worst headaches he has ever had in his entire life.
I'm sure.
That's
I'm sure
horrifying.
he did. That's
It's horrifyingly dangerous. Zach was like, "Do you know that that is can be one of the first signs of demonic oppression?" And
see,
Chris was
that's
like,
what like,
"Yeah,
but like, what if something got in him right away, and then it was like wanting him to do these things? What if it was
mm,
already?
maybe something
That's a.
guided him to the book. Like maybe he really didn't like plant it or bring like I don't know. Because then also like why would you throw this story around? And why would you admit that like announced stuff over the intercom? Like maybe he really
Wanted
did
help
just
and was
find it
like,
innocently.
yeah,
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, cuz so
Let
then
us know.
here's what we found out next. So, you know, he had been asking people, like, hey, do you know what this is? Hey, is this yours? Do you know what? Finally, he found the employee or employees who are like, yes, that's actually ours. We may have brought that in and we may have used it. A few Satanists do work here. We may have done some rituals. And you should probably be careful because some of us have been scratched and harmed. Oh, and we did those
Oh,
rituals in the hell silo.
oh no. Yeah.
So when I hear this, I'm like, maybe Chris. is kind of an innocent bystander and didn't mean to come across it and just, did think it was cool. Because if you're working at a haunted attraction, or like a Halloween attraction, you're obviously interested in that stuff. And
Right.
maybe he thought it was like fake, but like spooky. I don't know.
I get it. And
Looking at both
I mean
sides.
it's so hard to like really tell where someone is at, because I mean I mean at this point I'm probably more on the higher end of being like weird spooky. The fact that we have this podcast even.
Yep.
Yep.
Sure am.
Hi. Hello,
Hi.
welcome.
Hello.
Love it.
Hey.
Great. So, and we're coming from a place of curiosity and hopefully love and yeah. But then, and I try to give people the same benefit of the doubt, but at the same time, there's some there's some spooky people out there, and it's just hard to
Yeah.
say.
And I did actually recently listen to a podcast. I can't remember what it was, but it was one of the ones that like Morbid played through their platform.
Love Morbid, by
And
the way.
we
By the
love
way,
Morbid.
I
Ash and
love
Elena,
Morbid.
hello.
Hi,
Hello. Hello,
you guys are
weirdos.
great.
Hello. So it was one of those that they partnered with someone. I'm sorry, I should have written it down, but the podcast talked about Satanism and how it's misunderstood.
Right. It's really
Yeah.
not. There's there's this thing that we think it is, but there's this really it's not all about devil worship. It's really kind of the
There's some
opposite.
really, yeah, like beautiful positive facets. But here was my confusion at the end of the episode, because they talked about how there are some positive groups of Satanists and there's different kinds, and there's different, they fall under different names and different, groups and things like that. And some of them are really passionate about basically embracing things that the church demonized, like freedom of expression and free love and just things like that, and that was really cool. And there's just all sorts of other things like being involved in nature and all this stuff that the traditional church really spoke ill of and like claimed was evil. And so hearing about that facet was really interesting, made a ton of sense. And then they talked about a few others, but what they never ended up talking about was the scary side. I'm like, okay, these all sound like make sense. I totally support the people who want to be in those facets of Satanism, but we're not talking at all about the scary part, like the scary
Right.
facets, because are we saying those don't exist? Because I'm pretty sure they do.
There is that side.
There is, but it's still kind of confusing because one person that they were interviewing, she talked about demons like they were angels. And she talked about how like she always felt like she had particular entities with her that when what she was calling them like demons, like ooh scary, but she was describing them like we would think of as like angels and guardians. And
Angels.
so it
Hmm.
was all like it really kind of made me think differently. And I'm like, I don't, this this is outside of
Yeah.
my box of understanding. And maybe I don't understand, but I and so and like again like she was coming from a place of love and just wanting to be herself and just wanting like good things for other people and herself and just wanting to be who she was, and coming from really oppressive parents. And like again, all that was awesome, but I at the end of the podcast I was like, what about the bad parts? Like what about the sects that are like sects that aren't good, that do want to do harm? Because I feel like that's still within very good reason to be afraid of.
One, I think it's even like that extremist kind of side of it, because maybe it is more. Because Lord, I don't know. I have no idea, but I'm assuming there's kind of that normal side of it, but then that extremist side, when that maybe that's that, because there is the really kind of spooky, crazy, dark stuff, and I do want to understand it more, because it's old stuff, super old.
Yeah.
So I
Yeah.
don't
Yeah,
know.
that's true. I feel like some of the more positive, I mean, almost it kind of seems like a new age term, like the positive aspects of Satanism and things like that. And they literally talked about Satan being like a cool dude and like that's great. Anyone who's like cool and supports positivity and people's, individuality and all of that, like this is all that's all wonderful. But then there's the part where people seem to be doing rituals and wanting to summon things that are dangerous and harmful and cause pain and suffering to other people. And like that's the part where I'm like, isn't there still that? Like isn't that still part of like, I mean, and I don't know what we need to call that group, but that group's still out there.
Extremist.
They don't seem good. Yeah.
Yeah. Because
So
yeah, I think I hope it's a smaller sector, but
and so with the group that seemed to have told this employee Chris that they brought the book in, were they meaning harm or were they actually more positive and they didn't mean to do harm? Like it's all really I just have a lot of questions, I think. Of did they intend harm? Did they not? And because when it ended up happening, it was like some of them did get hurt. They did end up getting nervous, and now potentially if Chris really didn't have anything to do with the book coming in, like he ended up misusing it and could have brought some
still,
more stuff in there and hurting
yeah.
himself.
Well, it's an invitation, right?
Yeah, it is. Yeah. So, all right. So that's that piece. And then Zach ended up letting the owner Rob know. And I feel like Rob maybe knew. He seemed surprised, but I also kind of felt like maybe Rob already knew that that was probably happening. I don't know. I don't know. But he showed them a few other areas. And so then he took Zach and the group to the tunnels, one of the underground tunnels, which is one of their hot spots. And he told them a story about how a female employee had been working on the set. She was by herself and she was like painting the set on this ladder, and the ladder got completely knocked out from under her and she fell hard, several feet at least. So, really scary, really dangerous.
Break your
And
breaks. Wait, so she didn't get very hurt from that. She didn't break anything.
I don't think she broke any bones, but I'm sure it hurt a lot. And I think she was just beyond terrified because she
Yeah,
knew
it's
she was
horrifying.
alone. And that was clearly very malicious. And then they kind of get to the end of the tunnel. And at the end of the tunnel, the owner Rob explains that they believe this is where George, if you remember our first documented death at the factory, dear George apparently makes contact with quite a few people. And they didn't really say
Okay.
hi, like how, but I don't. It didn't sound like he was malicious, but just that he comes through sometimes, and it
Poor
seems to be him.
George.
So George might still be around, but I hope he's okay.
Hi, George.
Hi, George. Then they talked to a couple who were former employees, and they had both worked there, Morgan and Aaron, and so they had been performers. And Morgan, the wife, believes that something negative attached itself. Oh, sorry, I got it. I think Morgan's actually the husband. So Erin's the wife, Morgan's the husband. Morgan believes that something negative attached itself to him while he was working at the Fear Factory. He said that he was performing in the doll room and that he was like some kind of creepy, monstrous Scottish person. So he was wearing a kilt. I don't know, but this is one of the spooky
Something
things.
spooky. There you go.
Yeah. So he was all kilted up in the doll room, and he said he was turning around to leave, and his kilt was pulled on, like
Cool.
noticeably yanked on. And there's no one there, but he said he heard a little girl giggling. And this, I
Mm.
think, is one of these instances where you think that potentially it's a little girl, but it's actually one of these
Yeah.
entities pretending to be a little girl.
I hate when they do that.
Yeah. Because they're like, hey, you're fine. You're not fine. Yeah.
They
You're welcome.
that was a good one from you. Nice job.
Thank you. I felt it. I felt it in my soul. So I had to let it out. But yeah, really, 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 really something really bad legitimately did attach to him. His wife, Erin, explained that they started seeing really significant personality changes in Morgan to the extent that their children didn't even want him around.
Oh wow.
And he
That's so
seemed
hard.
it was so strange because in his interview, he just seemed like the nicest, friendliest, like, chill kinda guy. And so to hear that he was taking on more I don't know, like, they didn't really go into it either, so it's kinda but if, your kids don't want you around, that's kind of a huge deal, so she admitted too that they almost got divorced over it.
Oh,
And Morgan was
life
like,
is
"What? We did?" And she was like, "Yeah, we did, it was really bad." So I don't even think he, like, remembers
just
parts of
so
it.
taken over. Wow.
Really, really, really scary. And they didn't say how the attachment went away, but eventually it did, and he's much better now. And it's, like, gone,
That's
but they were
good.
really nervous to be back there. And I think that's kinda your worst fear with this stuff, is
That's what I'm
having it
saying.
Yeah, having
Don't
it
want it to
attached to someone
attach.
or yourself, having it change your personality into this horrible negative thing that can destroy your life. I don't know how he got away from it, but he did, thank
Thank
goodness.
goodness.
And when they were talking to Zach was like, "Did you know that, while you guys were working here, there was also an employee here who found a satanic book and was reading passages of it over the intercom?" And they were like, "No." And he was like, "Did you know that there were satanic rituals that happened here?" And they
Oh
were like,
gosh.
"No." And he was like, "Well, okay, yeah, so now you know maybe why that happened." And it's just really
Yeah.
scary, like, they really wanted to work there because it was fun and spooky, and then there was all this other crazy stuff going on, which is just it's not cool. So,
Wow. I
yeah.
feel those man.
I know, I feel so bad for them. That's a hard one. So that one was really hard because you heard about, like, a whole family almost falling apart, but they're much better. They seem really
That's
good now,
good. I mean,
totally
this stuff
fine.
can just it can tear you, rip people to shreds. It's
Yeah,
so powerful. Whether you
and I think
believe or not, it's like that's part of the power
of the power of the ripping.
of the ripping of the families
Oh
or the
god.
relationship or whatever.
Oh god. We don't condone ripping of any kind.
No, thank you.
Ugh. Yeah, so really scary. After they finished talking to some of the employees about their experiences, they brought in someone named Paul, who was a cultural anthropologist. And Paul explained that in addition to the deaths of the factory workers, there were many deaths from the homeless. And apparently, because, like I said, there's 6 buildings, they're 6 stories high, some of them, and there's tunnels. It became an entire city of homeless. So, how many deaths took place there
No
that were just
idea.
completely unknown?
That's a lot of
And
tragedy.
and that was all the way up until Rob purchased the property. And when they found out about the homeless city, they then spoke to the captain of the local emergency services. And his name is Captain Lavender. And isn't that a great
Oh,
name?
it's fantastic.
Fantastic. We trust Captain Lavender just because of the scent.
Yeah, yeah, yep. That's our requirements and standards.
You passed my first test. Yeah. All right. So Captain Lavender, he talked about finding one of the suicides that had taken place there that was really bad. Apparently, what had happened was they think one of the people from the homeless population decided to commit suicide. And the way that they did that was that they literally kneeled on the train track. They placed
Mm,
their neck on the track
mm,
and waited for a train. And by the time Captain Lavender and his other team members arrived, there was the body was still kneeling
mm.
with the head just like a few feet away. And apparently it still had the
Oh,
baseball cap on the head, and it was really just gruesome and eerie and very strange.
oh my goodness.
That's probably one of the more notable suicides, one of the ones that was documented that they do know about.
Oh my gosh, what a way to go out. Oh.
Yeah. Yeah, that's not recommended, really horrifying. They also had a call that they had to respond to once about someone who had been set on fire and died. That's really horrible. And he was basically like, there are a ton of deaths that happened here that were none of them were documented. So we have no idea how many people died on this property, how they died. And it's just really dark. And he did explain how one time they came to the property after one of the areas of the building had caught fire. And when they entered the area, there was smoke everywhere. They were inside the building, there was smoke everywhere. And he claimed that not only himself, but several other of his crew members, they all saw a pair of boots and legs through the smoke, but there was nothing else. And it was standing right in front of them in the smoke. But there was just boots, legs, nothing. And he was like, hopefully it was just a person, but I really don't think so. Why would you be standing in the smoke while there's a fire?
Yeah, you
And
wouldn't.
no, you wouldn't. Those are the interviews that I got about the Fear Factory. And
Wow.
as we can see, it is wildly haunted, and I would be way too scared to go there, but man, if you're looking for fright, this is going to be the place.
So it is like a haunted house, but with a
A
horrible,
true,
horrible history.
yep, like the most legitimately haunted Halloween attraction.
Hmm. Do I want to go? No.
No, are we
No.
going? No.
No. I'm gonna pass on this one. I'm
Yeah,
gonna
I am
pass.
too.
There's something about it that doesn't feel right.
Yeah,
You
I
know?
know. Like even just talking about it, this seems like a no go.
Yeah.
A
That's
don't do it.
you like you're dying to know motivation. You might crave to know why and how did you get in the space and the place to be reading off things on the intercom. Da da
Yeah,
da da da.
yeah. There were some missteps here,
It's just
but there were missteps before. There were missteps after.
the grinding.
Oh my! Oh God, the grinding.
Caitlin.
No ripping, no grinding. Dear Lord.
Um well, my senses are stimulated. I
Oh,
have
good. Fried.
butterflies in my tummy. Yes. Hi.
Really angry, upset, horrified butterflies.
Definitely.
Butterflies.
Yeah, no, this was great. I mean, I
You're
do love
spooked.
I'm spooked. I do love a good spooky saw-like awful haunting people pressing the boundaries too far kind of story.
Sure.
You
Yes.
nailed it.
Well, thank
Nice job.
you. None
You
of this was my doing, but I sure did write it down. I did. So.
That's enough to have to put yourself through that and to even ponder what just happened. That is enough. And
and
if
so
that
it's
doesn't fill your
so
cup, I don't know what else will.
what your spooky cup at the very
The
least.
spooky cup.
Did you ever go to haunted houses
Oh,
like in high school
fuck
and stuff?
yeah. Oh, I
Yeah.
still go to haunted houses.
Yeah.
The
And well, like
my
those
irrational
like attractions and whatever with the
yeah,
actors and stuff. Yeah.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
The
Yeah. That's all the
I'm scared
rage.
of I'm scared of someone being like the guy with the chainsaw. There's normally one of those that chases you. Um I'm scared of someone replacing that guy and like actually coming after me and I'm like, I know you can't touch me, but then I'm like, yeah, no. That's my
Well,
irrational fear. Also,
that's
Caitlin,
now my fear. Thank you.
I've been having nightmares.
I'm sorry, what? About
I
what?
thought I had one nightmare and I never have nightmares. I had one nightmare while I was in Florida because I was away from home and I was not in my bed and I was not sleeping with my person. So, you know, it's a recipe for a nightmare perhaps
Yeah,
because
being in a different place. I think so.
and man, the amount of research I've been doing. So the fact that I've only had one is absolutely incredible.
Oh,
I
so
sleep
you're
like a
saying you're
baby.
surprised you haven't had more. I think I agree. I think that's a good thing.
But this one that I did have fucking scared the shit out of me because I think my biggest fear is being having demonic activity happen around me. That's
Same.
absolutely my worst fear. And I've seen all the movies. And so I
Right.
know all the moves. I know all the spooky steps. My brain knows. And my brain is like I don't get scared. It's like I can watch those movies all day and I'll be fine. But my
which I don't
brain, in
understand.
order to scare my fucking self, has to like pull out like 100% of the stops in my dreams to like scare the living daylight out of me. And it's like so real that like the stuff that I make in my head, I was like having like books being thrown against the wall and it's so loud and things are just invisibly flying over and the doors like slamming shut and then all of a sudden like someone that I know walks in and then all of a sudden they're possessed and then it's just like
Oh God.
sounds all around. I'm like, and in the moment I'm like, shit, demon, horrifying. But then that's my
Shit.
reaction. Shit, not again. But that's exactly where I have to get. I'm like, wait a minute, this is horrifying and I am scared. And that's weird. And then I'm like, wait a minute, Josephine. Yeah, this is you. This is your dream. You're doing this to yourself right now because you've
Oh
been
God.
researching too many things. And
Too
uh
many spooky
and then I
things.
eventually, yeah, and then I'm like, it's not real, and then I wake up. So I kill it. I kill it like right away. But I think it's like my brain will do these like this 1 minute drop of just the scariest stuff my brain can think of in one nightmare. And it happens maybe like every 2 years or so. I don't get them very often, but I had it. I was like, no,
Oh my
that's what
goodness.
I'm scared of.
Oh,
No, thank you. I'm so scared.
well, it's so interesting that you like. I still think you're so brave because I can't handle visuals. People are so good at making things scary in movies, and I can't handle it visually. It'll burn itself into my brain, and
Hmm.
then am really affected for like
Yeah.
weeks.
No,
So I
I get
just
it.
stay away from haunted, scare. Well, not haunted, but just horror movies. But
Smart.
that's I'm so sorry about your nightmare, but listen, I really do think it's because you just weren't in your own home. Your
That
brain's like, "Where am
absolutely.
I?"
Who am I? What's happening?
Da,
Where's my bed?
da. I've had a few nightmares myself in recent weeks, and
It's
it's not
interesting.
normal. Yeah.
Yeah. I'm just like, okay.
It's been a spooky season.
Welcome to the spooky.
Yeah.
To the effects of all the spooky things that you're looking up.
But hopefully you've had some good dreams as well, because I have had some really good dreams also that way make up for it. So
Oh, I've had some great dreams. I've also had like nights where I don't dream at all, and that's fine.
that's fine, just fine.
It's fine, just
Um,
fine.
Well, oh my gosh, I don't know if you and me should try to go to a haunted house next year. I don't really, I don't really wanna.
I
I
won't
like.
push you. It's not the real
Do
spooky
you want to
spook.
go? If you want to go, I'll probably go, cause you're convincing.
Wow.
Yeah,
Thank you. I'm
yeah,
honored. Yeah, I'll find
as you should
something.
be.
My kind of my typical tour is like a spirits and spirits tour or like a booze and booze tour where you
Well,
go
see,
to
that
all the
sounds way
haunted
more fun.
beers, like the haunted bars, and they
Well,
tell
you
you
know what?
stories and you get a drink.
That's what we're doing though. That's what we're doing. Well, now it's in the past when you're hearing this episode, but when we are recording this episode, it's in the future because we
Wow.
are going to Ghosts in the Gardens.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. That counts. Doesn't that count? That counts as a haunted
Hell yeah. Hell
thing.
yeah,
Yeah.
that counts.
Okay, cool.
Love it.
Okay, awesome. Well, and I know we did a little tiny bit at the Lumber Baron Inn of like doing voice recordings, which was really nice. But like we were intending to connect with positive spirits. And I think we're gonna go to the Queen Anne, where we're also going to, I think, connect with positive spirits, but we'll see. And so, whether you like it or not, Josie, we are on this spooky train and we're going to keep going.
We're doing it because it's worked pretty good so far. And
Yeah,
man, am I just having a blast with all the energies that have been blessing us. So, right on.
right on. Well, we hope that you are on the train with us and we're going to keep going even, into the holiday season and beyond. Just because Halloween is over does not mean that we are done. There's still many paranormal spiritual things to endeavor upon. If you're looking for a spooky thing or two, visit our Instagram at something spookish. And if you like the podcast and have maybe a dollar or two that you want to throw at our faces our way, we will catch said dollar and we will
We
say
will
thank you.
take it. We'll say thank you.
We will say thank you. Yeah, I want to do shout outs if we get any Patreon donations. Like literally even $1. We would be so stoked. You have no idea.
Be so
So
stoked.
so visit our Patreon page. We do officially have our first bonus Patreon episode, which is Josie's cryptid experience, which is fucking legit, and I can't believe that you had that, and it's terrifying.
It is
We're going to do
horrifying.
more bonus Patreon episodes. So we'll announce those on the Instagram as they come out. And we've got tons of great interviews coming up. We are going to have some really cool guests on our shows. We're going to go be guests on their shows too, I think. And there's just a lot coming
Things are
down.
happening. Things
Ooh,
are moving. We're grooving. And thank you for being spooky with us. And hells yeah.
and hell's yeah. Until next time.
Stay spooky.